Now she's too far away. She's in Joneswood, and we don't see one another so often now. Which that's sad, because she can't travel a lot now, because she's getting old. And with my health, I can't, you know. So it's breaking us up, which is very sad. Now we need one another more, because we're getting old. It's very sad to be around here anyway, to see the state of it. And why should we move out? Why are they knocking them down? We don't know.
In 1998, we asked people in the area, do you think there should be a major change to the Elephant and Castle? And over 90% of the people said yes. And when they asked us what we meant by a major change, we meant improving the transport, making more shopping there, changing the housing, and generally making it a better place.
When they first talked about regeneration, they sent out a questionnaire, a card, a flashy leaflet, and a card that you could write your comments on and say whether you wanted the area to be regenerated or not. They got half the estate wasn't leafleted for some reason, and other areas didn't get their leaflets, but the council said the result of the consultation was that 95% of those who replied wanted the elephant to be regenerated, but they failed to say that it was 95% of the 5% who replied. It's just deceiving people all the time. And I mean, really, people on Heygate haven't voted for the estate to be demolished.
At the first meeting with Fred Manson, Director of Regeneration, I was the one who put that particular point to him quite forcibly, that we had this agreement for a ballot, and we expected him to honour that agreement. He said yes, he couldn't see any reason why not. And at an open meeting that we had, that he came to, the one and only on the estate that he came to, one of our open meetings where heaven knows how many people turned up. I think our hall was actually overpacked with people, more than we should have had. He again said to everyone there, yes, we would have a ballot.
We were promised that vote, yes, by council officers.
Now it appears that they are trying to renege on that particular agreement, and we keep being told there is no legal requirement for an estate that's going to be demolished.
So, just for me to get this straight then, you never agreed to honour an agreement to a ballot for Heygate tenants?
I don't understand the question. You can't ask me that question.
The council drew up its master plan in 2004, and to make way for a new shopping centre, the Heygate estate is due for demolition. In return, the tenants were promised 1,000 new homes on 16 sites all around the Elephant. They were also told they'd be living in their new properties by the end of 2009. But it's 2009 now, and not one of the 16 sites has been built yet. In fact, at the moment, only 6 have planning permission.
The whole plans for the Elephant have been mismanaged from the start. I'm very angry with Southwark Council, who are forcing me to give up my home to make way for the developer. And of course we won't be able to buy that houses for sale. We're ordinary working class people.
Helen's 68 and has lived on the Heygate for the last 35 years. She thought she'd be moving into a new home on one of the new sites. But with the sites not yet built, she's been told she'll have to move into an existing council house. And this could be pre-war and smaller than a maisonette. Exactly the type of thing she moved to the estate to get away from.
They just want to get rid of working class people, and most of the other neighbours feel like that as well, you know. It's just breaking up a community again.
The council say Helen's got to be out by September. They've promised her she can eventually move into a new home on one of the new sites. That is, of course, when they get round to building them. But with all the delays, that could mean waiting another few years and a second move. And by that time, Helen's going to be well into her 70s, not an age when you want to be calling in the removal men. So far, more than 800 households have been relocated, and some of them are happy with the change. But almost 400 or so are left in limbo, halfway between staying and moving, like John and his wife Enid. Along with many on the Heygate, they couldn't wait to sign up to the regeneration.
When they promised the new buildings, we were excited. Oh yes, brand new house. That'd suit us.
How times have changed. With eviction now looming, the couple are locked into a bidding war to find somewhere to live. Every Thursday, they're forced to scour the pages of the Home Search magazine in the hope of finding a vacant council property. There's 261 for a ground floor flat.
Yeah, so anybody who's put in for that,
261.
a 1 in 261 chance of getting it.
So finding a replacement home isn't easy. There just aren't enough to go around. And when a choice property becomes vacant, the residents are up against all the other bidders across the whole borough.
As you can see, it's a lottery. Plus, if there's something decent comes up, I'll bid for it, but got no chance.
So it seems that rather than bringing people together and giving them a bright new future, the community living here have been broken up and fragmented.
Data shows that just 1 in 5 Heygate tenants were rehoused in the Heygate postcode, with the remainder scattered across the outskirts of the borough. Whilst they have been given the right to return to the replacement housing sites, by January 2013, still only 7 of the 16 sites had been completed, and very few tenants had returned. For the 200 leaseholders on the estate, the situation was different.
Residents who were moved off the Heygate estate in South London under a huge regeneration scheme have claimed they weren't offered enough money to buy another home locally. At the same time, new properties planned for the site are being marketed as luxury apartments abroad. Aisha Baksh reports.
Jerry Flynn was one of the first people to move on to the Heygate estate over 30 years ago. He and his neighbours have now all been moved off, and he feels it's unlikely they'll be able to move back again.
Most of the council tenants will have been rehoused somewhere in Southwark, many of them in Walworth. The leaseholders, though, they've gone farther afield. They were offered levels of compensation which really weren't adequate, much too little to be able to afford another leaseholder property in the Elephant and Castle or even in London.
Why should I have to travel 10 miles, each way, once, twice, and 3 times a week? But if I was here, I wouldn't have to do all this travelling.
How long have your family lived in the area?
Oh, all their lives, since 1950, 55. That's why I was brought up. And I don't know any better than this place. And if I can afford to come back here, definitely I'll move tomorrow.
What was life like here in the Cuddington?
Very nice, very nice. We kept an eye on, if our children was playing together, if I was doing something at home, the other mothers would look after, and they would call me if my child hurt itself. And I would do the same to them. We looked after one another, But where I am now, nothing's like that. People hardly talk to you around here. That's why I said to you I would come back tomorrow if I can. That's all I can say. Very sad to see it like this.